are doing good. This is HappySoCurly, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some reasons as to why we punish ourselves when we're low. And this isn't just to teach that, but also to help you feel better about like what situations you're in and what will help and what won't help you get up off your feet. Because as we all know, the best part about being at the bottom is that the only way to go is up. And because I had a long day, I'm going to be drinking some water, if you don't mind. I wonder what this sounds like. I hope it sounds good. I needed that. But let's get started. So you might have done something bad to where you've gotten your heart broken, or maybe you failed at something, or you feel embarrassed about something. And it might not be the first time or the last, but you feel as though it's the end of the world almost, and that you deserve to punish yourself. But really, what we have to think about is, why do we punish ourselves? And it's funny because when we physically hurt ourselves, we know how to handle those. If we burn our hand, we're not going to burn it again. Like, we're going to like essentially put some ointment on it, wrap it up, and just have a mental note not to do it again. But when we mentally hurt ourselves, it's as though we feel like more negative energy is going to help. Like, if you think about it, when you're feeling sad, what do some of us usually do? Like, we usually listen to sad music or talk about sad things. We read over old text messages. We eat unhealthy things. And some of us even go as far as physically hurting ourselves, and as far as that, even killing ourselves. And we just have to understand that those things are not going to help. But I guess today what we're going to try to uncover is why that happens. So I have some theories that I went over in my head and on like paper and researching, as far as why we punish ourselves after we have already been through like bad things. And one of my main theories is that if you ever exercised, like people say exercise is such a good way to relieve stress. Well, the whole point of exercising is that there is a pleasure in pain, just like there's a pleasure in pain in a lot of other things, like being abused. Like, some people will allow themselves to be abused, will allow themselves to go through such pain because they feel as though the aftermath or what they can get in return is far more surpasses the pain that they're enduring. I'm not going to get explicitly into it, but also, sexual activity or kissing, stuff that we know causes a risk of pain, a risk of hurt or making it worse. It kind of excites us, and that's not a good thing. And I'm not saying like you shouldn't enjoy sex or you shouldn't enjoy exercising, but when we don't look at the outcome of, oh yeah, this hurts, but you know, I'm gonna get this afterwards, and you can't look at everything that way. And I think we kind of train our bodies and our minds to work that way, especially in society now. Like, we have to work hard to get an education, pay all these bills, pay all these notes year by year by year. And then what? When we turn 60, we get a break. But like, life is almost over. So like, what's the point in going through all that pain just to get the aftermath? And I think that's where the psychology of when we go through things, we put ourselves down, and that we don't realize that the aftermath is gonna probably be years and years after that pain, and it's gonna be a waste, and it's gonna ultimately hurt you and the people that care about you. So that's pretty much the first part of my theory. Now the second part of my theory, I think it goes around like who we have around us. Like, if you see your friends talk about, or like say you broke up with someone, or you like don't see someone anymore, your friends will pretty much go on your side and say, oh yeah, he ain't shit, or she ain't shit, like he a hoe, she a hoe, you didn't need them. But once you say you get that person back in your life, they'll tell you, oh yeah, they're awesome, like they're amazing, like girl, you lucky, like he is like she is a lucky person, bruh, or like, you know, stuff like that. And I think when we hear what we like to hear, in the inside we know it's not right, and we kind of try to punish ourselves and try to find the negative out of everything. Like, say you are so rich and everyone assumes that you should have a perfect life, but inside you feel like you don't have a perfect life. You feel like you're missing some things. But this is very common in celebrities, and why a lot of celebrities commit suicide, it's because like you feel like your life is so perfect that you can't complain about anything. So in that sense, like, your friends tell you, oh yeah, he loves you and all this stuff, or she loves you, so you feel like you have to underestimate everything, and that you have to allow negative energy in your life. Because why would you want to risk your relationship? Why would you want to risk all that money as a famous superstar? Why would you want to risk all that love? Oh, love. Love is such a complicated statement. I seldom use it because I know I don't mean it. Like, the first time I said it, I knew I didn't mean it, and I felt horrible about it. But essentially, like, we feel as though, you know, why would you want to give up this? Why would you stop working? Or why would you not pay your loans? Like, it's going to pay off in the end. It's going to pay off in the aftermath. But when? Like, we don't really know. So we just need to stop trying to punish ourselves. And with my second theory, the people around us need to be honest, and they need to be truthful about who we are. Because if you think about it, like, the paparazzi will slander you. The paparazzi will talk so much about you, and if you talk back, or if you complain, like Kanye for instance, you look crazy. But why do they look crazy? Like, you're hurting their feelings, you're talking bad stuff about them, you won't leave them alone, you're making their situation more stressful. And so that's when they turn to the drugs, they turn to the sex, the booty, they turn the booty. They turn to the sex, they turn to the drugs, they turn to things that are temporarily going to relieve you. But why do temporary? Why not just start your happiness now? And I know it is hard. Like, some of us have children early, some of us get divorces, don't get married, some of us don't have enough money or enough ambition or enthusiasm. Like, I understand how hard it is, but we can't forget that every moment that you live, you have to enjoy the little things. Because if you don't enjoy the little things, those little things are going to add up, and you have to do bigger things to get those little things. And that's when you're 60 and you go to retirement, you go on vacation. Like, nobody wants that. You don't want that. So let me drink some more water. I'm sorry, I'm kind of thirsty. So we just have to think, like, sorry, even though it's not the end of the world, or it may seem like it's the end of the world, vice versa, there are still points in our lives to where we have to start thinking, like, I need to be happy now. I need to have some type of happiness, and it's not going to be in drugs, it's not going to be in sex, it's not going to be in liquor or weed or fake friends, money, or these little relationships that don't really matter. And people are going to hurt you. You're going to hurt people. It's going to happen at some point where you realize not everybody's perfect and that you're not perfect. But to punish yourself every time you realize those things is not going to help. It's ultimately going to make you lose your mind. So don't put yourself down. Don't turn to negative things. Don't turn to like drugs and booty. Don't turn to those things. It's gonna make things worse. And it's up to you whether you want to do those things. It's fine, but at the end of the day, why settle for temporary happiness when you can start loving yourself now? And that's going to make you happier. In my opinion, it's going to make you happier, because guess who's around you 24/7 other than God? You. So don't think, oh, I'm going to get happiness outside of myself and then that's going to make me feel better. Like, that's not always the case. At some point you have to start loving yourself. You have to start appreciating who you are. And I think that's like the main reason why we hurt ourselves too, is we probably just don't like ourselves like we used to. Or we see all the stuff that happened to us and we blame ourselves first. And that when it happens again, we're like, how did you miss that? How did you mess that up? Like, come on, how did you mess that up again? You know what? You don't deserve to eat. You know what? You deserve to get cut. Or, you know what? You deserve far worse than anybody else has ever gone through. Like, we do those things ourselves. So just next time, if you ever think about doing those things, or doing something negative towards yourself and punishing yourself, just think of the aftermath, and that happiness is not going to come later. Like, you should start your happiness now, because who's going to start it for you? It's that cheap water. So just, think about that, and think about like who matters to you the most. And it should be yourself. Like, I'm not telling you to build this ego or be selfish, or pretentious, but at some point you have to build a backbone that says, I deserve better, or I deserve happiness. Like, I deserve to be happy, because everyone deserves to be happy. And like I said, you just can't, the more you punish yourself, the more you're going to regret it in the long run. So I think that should be enough of the lesson today. I'm kind of new to this whole ASMR thing, so I guess I'll just say positive words to you, I guess. Okay. Love, 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 love. Makes the world go round. Happiness, 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 happiness.